I know quite a bit about family businesses. I've been in and around and run and worked in family businesses most of my life. And the first rule of family business, if you should ever find yourself working in one, is don't mess with the family. You know that old saying, blood is thicker than water. So it comes as no surprise that Floyd Shivambu has been fired from the Zuma family business called Umkhonto weSizwe Party. He was silly enough to get into a spat with Duduzile Zuma. And whatever the background is to that, we are not 100% sure, but she came out with those late night tweets that she likes, the capital letter in front of every word, calling Floyd Shivambu names. And he responded, and that was never a good idea. Whatever he did, when the princess decides that he's out of favor, he's out of favor. And from that moment on, the clock was ticking. The clock was ticking until Floyd Shivambu did something, made some error that he was going to pay for. And oh my Lord, he is busy paying. So what was his error? Well, he decided in his infinite wisdom to go to Malawi to visit a refugee from justice, a person who has fled South African justice, the so-called prophet Busheri. Now, this shepherd Busheri is a dodgy character. He is wanted in South Africa for rape, a country with a terrible problem of femicide and gender-based violence. We've got a man of the cloth who was accused by many, many women of having done things to them, including underage girls. Then he fled in very mysterious circumstances where it seemed like he had help from some Malawian politicians and flew on jets that were sent by the state together with ministers, etc. Basically, the kind of guy that when that allegation swirls around him, you shouldn't really be spending a lot of quality time with him. So instead, Floyd Shivambu went up there and, to go and have a sit down with this very dodgy character, prophet Shepherd Busheri. Now, from the photos I've seen, it looks like he may have gone to Malawi to eat Prophet Shepherd Busheri because he came back looking about 30 kilos heavier. But it is a very serious allegation. It's not an allegation, it's a very serious, at very least, a very serious misjudgment by Floyd Shivambu. But it didn't matter really what he was going to do. I don't think that Umkhonto weSizwe has suddenly become the yardstick for morality and good behavior. When one bears in mind that one of the prerequisites for getting into Umkhonto weSizwe seems to be a brush with the law. So let's understand that this is not because suddenly Jacob Zuma, a man who was once accused of raping his friend's daughter, is suddenly that concerned about the morality of a religious man of the cloth who does similar things to young girls. So I don't think that is the reason. It just was a matter of time before Floyd Shivambu fell into the trap. What was that trap? You fight with a princess, you just have to cross the line once, and you are going down. And cross the line he did. So the question starts to swirl. What exactly is the point of Umkhonto weSizwe Party? It's been a long sort of debated topic. What exactly are they? Because ideologically they're a mess. They seem like a Zulu monarchist party. Then they seem to be just purely a revenge project on the ANC, and that is stated by Jacob Zuma himself. Then they brought in Floyd Shivambu, whose thing was to organize the party, and he was going to organize this as a Marxist, Leninist, Fanonist party like we need another one of those. So ideologically, we don't know what they want. They want to scrap the law, the legal system that we've got, and start an Africanist legal system. Nobody seems to know what that is. 1 minute they talk about business, the next minute they talk about nationalizing everything. I think what we've got to understand is that this party has got a supreme leader. And that supreme leader is Captain Chaos himself, Jacob Zuma. And Jacob Zuma, while he's in charge, knows only one tactic, and that is chaos. He sows chaos. That was his job when he was still a soldier in Umkhonto we Sizwe, was fueling chaos, and he did a great job at it. Okay, but that was also the way he ran the country when he was president. The difference being that at the time, he became president when the ANC were at their strongest. And he had massive guardrails all around him. It took him a while to smash those guardrails down, but there was still enough of a structure to keep him somewhat in check. And I say somewhat because I don't want to give credit to the people around him, because he managed to dismantle the justice system. He managed to pillage and plunder the state-owned entities. The bottom line is that he is a man of chaos. And now that he has got unfettered control of Umkhonto we Sizwe, chaos is what we are seeing, because that is the way Jacob Zuma operates. It's not going to change. That is what he does. He does chaos. So, let's not be too surprised. But the bottom line is that Floyd Shivambu is out. He's now been, you've got to love South Africa. You don't fire somebody when you don't like what you do. They sort of fall upwards. So he's now gone from being Secretary General, where he was sort of in the back room working just on Umkhonto we Sizwe stuff, to being a member of Parliament, where he's going to create laws for you and I to live by. This is a guy who went to go and visit a fugitive from South African justice, is becoming a lawmaker. He's going to join the only impeached judge. He's going to join a whole lot of state-captured, fingered people. He's going to join people that have looted state-owned entities. It is craziness that in South Africa we allow people like this to become parliamentarians. But he will be an ordinary parliamentarian. And all I can tell you is, stick around, the chaos ain't over. If I know anything, they've got a speaker there, Colleen Makubela, who's been on the State of the Nation before. And she is the mistress of chaos herself. And soon enough, she's going to say the wrong thing, and the princess is going to put a tweet out at midnight, and it's going to be goodbye to Colleen Makubela. This house of cards is going to collapse. Mark my words. Thank you for watching The Political Insider. We'll see you again tomorrow.